Shalom, mahalo. Today I come to you not as like an actor or a producer or a comedian. I stand before you today specifically as Ontario's Beth David B'nai Israel Beth Am Hebrew School alumni and bar mitzvah boy. Because tonight I truly am a man. Welcome to our virtual flight to the magnificent land of Israel. It's truly an international voyage made up of friends from Israel, the United States, Canada, the UK, there's so many Jews. Imagine, we're all on a beautiful flight on this jet behind me, taking a real flight to Tel Aviv. But the truth is, virtual is so much better because you didn't have to fight all the airport traffic with a stranger sitting next to you. So they could smell. That's a long flight. Maybe you, where you are, you have a stranger next to you smelling. But what you're doing in your own home is your own business. And probably a lot of you are not wearing pants. And anyway, what an adventure awaits us. It's no surprise to any of us that since the beginning of time, Jews have stood at the forefront of arts, medicine, literature, entertainment, science, technology, philanthropy, philosophy, and brisket. The ideals of Judaism have made countless positive contributions to mankind, starting with Tikkun Olam, literally, heal the world, the primary directive for all Jews in their daily life, which goes hand in hand with tzedakah. I put money in a little box. And that's not just giving, but the belief that there is a moral obligation to give. Not just monotheism, not just, you know what I'm trying to say. Well, I'll be honest with you, you know what I'm trying to read. But ethical monotheism. Am I saying it right? It doesn't really matter. Look at the fancy schmancy stuff they want me to say. Forget America's Got Talent. Welcome to Canadians Got Big Words to try to pronounce. That refers, of course, to how Hashem guides humanity through ethical principles. And of course, centuries before the first labor union, Jews gave the world the idea of a day of rest. I love that. Given all that, the funny, the profound, the latkes, it's impossible to believe that there has never been a cultural center to celebrate more than 5,000 years of the Jewish people's outstanding and positive impact on humanity. Until now. Everyone watching tonight will be among the first people on the planet to experience a preview of what will be Tel Aviv's most exciting new cultural attraction, the world's Jewish Museum. Imagine a place where in one visit you can spend time with, just to name a few people you'll find there, George Gershwin, Albert Einstein, both Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, Carole King, Steven Spielberg, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, Bette Midler, Golda Meir, Vidal Sassoon. I had no idea he was Jewish, and I look good and he looks good. We're both Jews. Harry Houdini, Ofer Hazard, David Diggs. These are the people I look up to, all three of them, the Three Stooges. All five Marx Brothers, both Gyllenhaals, Moses, Jonas Salk, Estee Lauder, Natan Sharansky, and Tiffany Haddish. Now that's a dinner party, don't you think? Our people and our values, our diversity, our impact on life and laughter will be there for the world to explore. And wait until you see the glory of the building itself. Designed by yet another brilliant, nice Jewish Canadian boy, the unmatched Frank Gehry. This will be the first building he's designed in Israel. That's unbelievable that he has never done anything in Israel. Tonight is about the journey from dream to reality. We have the power to bring this iconic landmark destination to life. And in addition to donating, another very simple way of contributing is through our silent auction, where you can grab some incredible stuff. For the silent auction, go to 32auctions.com/WJM Virtual Gala, and you'll see some insanely wonderful items to bid on. Great art by such legends as Warhol, Dali, Chagall, Picasso, and many others. Autographed collectibles from Sandy Koufax, Stan Lee, Dr. Seuss, Disney. We've got a 6-foot-tall bronze menorah. You can never have enough of those. 6-foot-tall menorah. How do the kids like that? Anyway, collectible coins, watches, gorgeous jewelry. Check it out and buy it all, because proceeds from the sale help make our World's Jewish Museum a reality. So let's take off. Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be an amazing ride. I wonder if I have to do that or that to show them. Well, you know the exits because you're in your own homes. There's not gonna be an emergency.
The World's Jewish Museum, a celebration of Jewish contributions to humankind. The world-class museum has been designed by celebrated architect Frank Gehry, with interior exhibits designed by the award-winning Ralph Applebaum.
Most of Jewish education for most of our kids is about all the terrible things that were done to us. There is no place right now in the world to go where a young Jew can look up and see the Tin Pan Alley composer, the vaudevillian, the violinist, and the scholar, and the scientist, all in one place, so that he or she can aspire to be like the role models of the Jewish people. And this is what the museum is designed to do.
The World's Jewish Museum will entertain, educate, inspire, and instill in all visitors a sense of personal pride and a commitment to the values that have driven Jewish achievement. The World's Jewish Museum will be organized around pavilions and bridges that highlight exhibit themes. The Grand Lobby and Observatory, the Land of Israel Pavilion, the Enterprise Pavilion, including an Innovations Gallery, the Creativity Pavilion, the Inquiry Pavilion, the Education Pavilion, and the Tzedakah Pavilion.
צריך להיות כתוב ברוכים הבאים כולכם, יהודים ושאינם יהודים, יהודים מכל הסוגים, המינים, הצבעים והגוונים, מאמינים ושאינם מאמינים, ובלבד שישמר קו אדום אחד, כבוד וקשב לכל שותף לשיחה.
You have to, I think, see it in the context of pride, of identity, of understanding for Jews, but also for the world at large to understand the rest of the Jewish story, the good stuff. It would be great if we're celebrating the Jewish people to do it in a place where they really know how to celebrate. I can think of no better place than Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv is not only fun, Tel Aviv is where the Jewish nation is renewing itself in a different way.
Tel Aviv is a symbol of the renewal of the Jewish people. It's a center of art and culture, democracy, pluralism, tolerance, creativity and innovation.
Within this vibrant city, the World's Jewish Museum will entertain, educate, inspire, and instill in all visitors a sense of personal pride and a commitment to the values that have driven Jewish achievement.
The Jewish idea is to contribute, to change the world, to make the world a better place.
I believe we can create this massive wave of a whole new thinking, a whole new value, a whole new dialogue of the Jewish people.
The World's Jewish Museum has secured almost 6 acres of prime real estate north of Hayarkon Park, within walking distance of the popular Tel Aviv port, both of which receive millions of visitors each year.
I believe that the space that we have from the city of Tel Aviv for this museum is the most spectacular space possibly in all of Israel, possibly in all of the world. No matter where you are in Tel Aviv, you're going to see this and you're going to say, wow, what is that? I want to go there.
It's going to be an institute like Bilbao, like the Opera House in Sydney. Today, there is no such a place in Tel Aviv.
I also truly believe that this Frank Gehry landmark will bring additional tourism from all over the world and will play a big part in bringing additional jobs and revenue to the city of Tel Aviv, just like his Guggenheim Museum did in Bilbao, Spain, and this is a story that plays out over many other cities around the world.
McKinsey & Company noted, "We believe a target of circa 850,000 visitors annually is feasible."
The Bilbao effect is real. It's $3.5 billion in revenue to the city.
We're talking about something different. It will talk about the future more than the past. Of course, the past will be there, but it will give hope.
It's the spirit to show that we can be, the best. Not only the best out of others, but the best that we can be.
I heard the first time about this project. I thought that I said, okay, probably there is a place like that. And then start thinking, and I realized that there is no place like that. And how could it be? I will go there and I'll drag everything I know, my friends, family, and I'm waiting.
For 3,500 years, the Jewish people have persevered and flourished. Now their story will finally be told in a visible symbol in the land of the Jewish people, Tel Aviv, Israel.
You should be leaving feeling very proud of who you are and where you came from. This is the Jewish homeland, and this is where the Jewish story is going to be told.
This museum is going to be a work of art that we will all be proud of, whether we're Jewish or not. But it will feature the stars, the superstars over the centuries of Jews. And it's something that we should all think about, contribute to, and be proud of.
Jewish ideas have changed the world without the world knowing it. Now it will.
Good evening. I'm Rabbi David Wolpe from Sinai Temple in Los Angeles. I'd always be happy to see you, but I am especially happy to see you right after the high holidays, when we have blown the shofar and felt that stirring in our soul that calls us to action in the world. So what do? I want to suggest to you that there is nothing that we could do that could have a greater impact on the Jewish world and the general world than the world's Jewish Museum. This is a special and unprecedented place. This is the place that embraces all of who we are, past and present, not only all the denominations, Orthodox, conservative, Reconstructionist, Reform, secular, but all of our different origins, Ashkenazi, Mizrahi, Sephardi, everybody from everywhere. We want one place that shows the entire experience of the Jewish people in their land, outside of their land, in every field. Let me tell you, for example, about the Pavilion of Philosophy and Education. Jews love to argue. This is no surprise to you. And we have been arguing about ideas since the beginning of time. But where is the one place you can go to see all those arguers, whether it's Freud, Marx, Einstein, Hannah Arendt, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, or the more witty arguers like, say, Groucho Marx or Lenny Bruce? They all need a home where young kids can go and be inspired to see the greatest of everything of our people from every kind of field. And because it's constantly changing, unlike other museums, this one is interactive and growing and filled with the technology that will enable people of all ages to both add to it from their own memories and take from it from all the richness of our tradition. This is going to be a place unlike any other. And you have the chance. We are the lucky generation. We get to build it. And the visionary president and head of the Asper Foundation that first came up with this from a family that has done so much in Canada and in the world is the person you hear from now, Gail Asper.
Good evening and welcome. Erev Tov v'Bruchim Habaim. Thank you, Rabbi. What an honor it is to be working with you. Thanks to our brilliant host, Howie Mandel, and our wonderful tour guides, Jason Alexander, Mayim Bialik, and my fellow Winnipegger, David Steinberg. A huge thank you to our generous sponsors, as well as the creative and indefatigable Gala Committee, led by Shauna Shapiro-Jackson. I'm giving you all a virtual standing ovation. This year, Working with our executive committee chair, Alan Hoffman, and our fantastic board, we are working with 16 outstanding scholars, including Dr. Noah Shashar, Sir Simon Schama, author of The Story of the Jews and creator of the TV series based on the book, Vanya Oz Salzberger, co-author of Jews and Words, to name but a few, to further develop the content of our museum. And I also want to acknowledge the wonderful work of Mo Levy, my fellow director. We've partnered with one of the world's most respected designers, Ralph Appelbaum, and we're also planning on developing virtual exhibits. So whether you're in lockdown in Beersheba or in a classroom in Los Angeles, you'll always be able to virtually visit the World's Jewish Museum. We know how devastating COVID-19 has been to world economies and to Israel in particular, and how hungry people are to return to that most elusive of all places, normal. Happily, this project will be a boon to kickstarting the Israeli economy, and when it opens, it will be a shot of pure adrenaline to their tourist industry, offering millions of visitors a world-class, must-see destination designed by the brilliant Frank Gehry, who is also a joy to work with. We are blessed to have the city of Tel Aviv as our partner. They believe in our vision so absolutely they've donated more than 5 acres of some of the most desirable land in Israel. Toda Rabba Me'aron Huldai. We know this thrilling, inspirational, dynamic, and ever-renewing home for the story of the Jewish people, with its iconic architecture on a glorious waterfront location, is more than ambitious. Fortunately, it's a challenge for which I and others on our team are uniquely prepared. Mo Levy, the executive director of the Asper Foundation, and I, as president, led the team that created Canada's National Museum for Human Rights. A $400 million capital project. It opened just 6 years ago in my hometown of Winnipeg. And in that short time, it's become such a beloved and iconic addition to our culture, it's featured on Canada's $10 bill. At the start of that project, we knew we were reaching for the stars, but the results surpassed our hopes, and it was made possible by the help of thousands of passionate donors. We're bringing the same passion, experience, and determined spirit to Tel Aviv. We need your help, and we hope we can count on all of you from around the globe to join us and support our capital campaign. Let's do this for the people of Eretz Yisrael. We have wonderful naming opportunities, from individual exhibits to entire galleries. Personally, I'm excited my own gift will support cultural exhibits and be enjoyed by my Israeli friends and family, as well as my family and friends in the diaspora. And hello to all of you who are watching. I'm often asked, what makes you so passionate about this project? And my answer is, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to shepherd our people's glorious and exciting history and present it in a way that will continue and grow for generations and centuries to come. A new kind of positive Jewish experience where visitors of every land, every age, every background can feel welcomed, can laugh, cry, feel inspired, and leave transformed. And in the spirit of Tikkun Olam, committed to healing our wounded planet. We can't do it alone. Join us. Please give now, and remember, gifts can be pledged over 3 to 5 years, and all gifts make a difference. Yes, it's an enormous task, but David Ben-Gurion wisely noted, a Jew who doesn't believe in miracles is not a realist. Luckily for all of us, when we are united, Jews have a history of bringing about miracles in the desert. Together, we can build a life-affirming monument to our people, our histories, our future, and our lives. L'chaim. And have a belated, sweet, and healthy new year. Shana Tova.
Hi. As Gail mentioned, I'm Shauna Shapiro-Jackson, and I'm the chairperson of tonight's virtual event. First of all, it's wonderful to have you back, Howie. You did such a fabulous job emceeing our inaugural gala last year in Beverly Hills, and having you back as our virtual pilot this year is the icing on the cake. By the way, Howie, it's ethical monotheism. See, I can say it. And that's probably because I've heard one of our esteemed scholars, Rabbi Joseph Telushkin, talk about it all the time. between him and Rabbi Wolpe, who, by the way, was named one of the most influential rabbis in America, and the other scholars that are involved, we have an incredible team of advisors. I'd like to take a minute to thank everyone for being here from all over the world and recognize a few people and companies that have gone the extra mile. First, let me thank El Al Airlines, our corporate sponsor, along with Kind, Pearson Brothers Winery, Orly Cosmetics, Blumens, Aura Gold Cosmetics, Johnny Was, Strut This, and Q-Matics. I would also like to acknowledge the generous support shown to the World Jewish Museum from our standout early adopters and steadfast supporters. I especially want to thank our premier, platinum, and gold sponsors who came on board to help to make tonight a success. Cheryl and David Weiner, the Stanley and Joyce Black Foundation, and the entire Black family, the Linda Fromm and Howard Sokolowski Charitable Foundation, Mr. Leo David, the Argamont, Matenel, and Philogence Foundations, Terry and Jean de Gunsberg, the Minkoff family, Epsilon Israel, the Asper Foundation, and the Gail Asper Family Foundation. All of the sponsors at all levels will be listed on our company website and also are greatly appreciated. And as Howie mentioned, please feel free to indulge into some amazing retail therapy with our incredible silent auction. I'm guessing that some of you might have saved money this year since most of us weren't able to travel or go to restaurants or even go to temple on the high holidays with our new outfits. So I encourage you to shop now and support a great cause at the same time. Thanks so much, and I hope that you'll all come to Tel Aviv and visit the museum in person when it opens.
Runway number 12, flying over Jaffa in Tel Aviv.
50, 40, 30, 20. Okay, we're landing, and as we open the cabin doors, we're going to be greeted by a very special tour guide. The ridiculously talented actor, singer, dancer, writer, magician, mensch, Jason Alexander.
Thank you, Howie. I wish I was with you right now, my friends, side by side, so we could not shake hands or hug or touch in any way. But you were really ahead of the curve on that one. You have lived like this your whole life. What we call a pandemic, you call Thursday. Good evening, everyone. You know, I have visited Israel many times and I have seen it all from Haifa to Eilat, but I am so thrilled at the prospect of returning and soon seeing this stunning treasure trove of Jewish history becoming a reality. The people behind it have worked with such intelligence and love and care. It promises to be more than just one of the world's great cultural centers. It will also be an architectural tour de force that will bring money and jobs and tourism to Tel Aviv. This spectacular new museum is going to be located on more than 5 acres of prime real estate in one of the most beautiful and picturesque parts of Tel Aviv, near Hayarkon Park and the Tel Aviv port. The crown jewel for Tel Aviv. Already a magical city. Fantastic nightlife, amazing world-class restaurants, happening clubs. Although any club I'm in is a happening club because I am just so damn cool and hip. Or at least I thought I was back when the words cool and hip didn't just mean temperature and anatomy. To be honest, the last time I was in a happening club, I was wearing a polyester leisure suit, disco shirt, and 6-inch platform heels. I still wear the 6-inch heels, which is why I am 5 feet, 6 inches tall. But truly, Tel Aviv is a gorgeous, vibrant, magnificent city along endless miles of glorious beachfront. Some say it's a lot like South Beach in Florida, except South Beach has many more old Jews, obviously. Tel Aviv is the perfect spot for a cultural center that will not only hold the story of the Jewish people from Solomon to Seinfeld, but will also provide spectacular outdoor environments. The Genesis Garden, a lush, colorful, grand environment open to all, will be a perfect place to gather or hold special events. The museum's green space will form a natural extension of Hayarkon Park, bridged with magnificent wetlands and featuring a standing public sculpture garden. The grand lobby will be its centerpiece, a dramatic expression of the spirit of Tel Aviv's creativity and technical innovation. But let's focus on the building itself, to be designed by the singular architect of our times, Frank Gehry, in his first ever project for Israel. Frank Gehry is 91 years old and he remains the youngest person in any room he's in. Olavai, this does for Tel Aviv what his Guggenheim did for Bilbao, Spain. Let's hear a few words from the master himself.
I have always felt if you know what you're going to do in advance, then you won't do it. Your creativity starts with whether you're curious or not.
Frank Gehry has never let popular acclaim reverse his impulse to defy convention. He spent his life rethinking shapes and mediums, seemingly the force of gravity itself, the idea of what architecture could be. He decided to upend from the Guggenheim to Chicago's Millennium Park to his home in Santa Monica. Frank's work teaches us that while buildings may be sturdy and fixed to the ground, like all great art, they can lift our spirits, they can soar and broaden our horizons.
You could build a better building with the same amount of money. If anybody can build anything for X, and it's built and it functions and people are safe in it, then you could build for the same X something that's more delightful to be in. This museum is about celebrating Jewish achievements, so it's different from a lot of the other museums that have been built about the Jews. The setting and the relationship of the environment you're in to that exposition of information is critical. The relationship to the river, to the sea, to a former industrial neighborhood kind of fits with the time we're in because, you know, in the US, we've been converting old industrial neighborhoods to wider and better communal interest. So this model fits that, and we have the natural river, the natural terrain, the relationship to the sea. It's just open. There's a freedom about this site. It seems like we're free to set the image for the future of that area. And so that's a big responsibility, actually. The site is situated in a way that it opens out to the greater world through the sea, and the river is kind of the introduction to the sea. And that's the site we're on, so there we're connected to a worldview, and the building will address that as we design it. I always think of Israel as the beginning of a new world, a new life for the Jewish people. It still represents our place in the world, and it would be hard not to build a building that represents the Jewish culture in a place that's looking to the future. And this area of Tel Aviv is kind of the future of Tel Aviv and its relationship to the sea, and makes it a very important place. You couldn't find that anywhere else with that heritage. When I approach a project, I try to find out where it is, what it's about, what the culture is about, who's it for. It should be welcoming and feel like a place you'd like to go, where the experience of just being in the courtyard and around the building will be special and create a curiosity about what's inside. There isn't that much development around, and so that allows you to sort of make more of a statement with the building. We're playing with glass and sculpting with the glass and giving it some feeling of motion and imagine inside those spaces will have a very special feel. The creation of the courtyard is created by using the elements to create a village. I don't want to make a building that doesn't work with the main event, which is a story that's being told inside. The museum we're talking about now is really about celebrating the achievements of this culture over time. And some of it's quite extraordinary, and a lot of it hasn't been told the way it will be in this museum. I was asked to build something that did for Australia what Sydney Opera House did for Sydney. As it turns out, this is going to be my first project in Israel. I'll do my best. I have a pretty good track record. I don't know if I can do it every time, but I'm going to put my heart and soul into it.
Now, would you please welcome a prolific writer, an award-winning actor, and a neuroscientist who speaks fluent Yiddish. And you know, if I had a nickel for all the people in my industry that I know with that particular resume, whew! She's also a passionate advocate for modern Orthodoxy and Judaism. Please welcome Mayim Bialik.
Good evening, my friends. Gute Nacht, and thank you, Jason. It's really wonderful to be here the day the World Jewish Museum opens. I am determined to be one of the first through the door. Very excited to make plans to bring my family and my friends. As I've talked about, Israel's my spiritual homeland, and my ties to Canada have grown closer. It's wonderful to see so many passionate Canadian Jews at the helm of this international project, now with teams in Israel and all over the world on board. That said, I believe wherever you come from, Jews are one big family, and like all families, we do not always agree. But I've always been fascinated and inspired about how our people can have, for example, 62 different opinions on really how to make the exact same point. And that diversity, those evolving aspects of Judaism, the debates, the arguments, and also love and laughter, what a brilliant idea to put this on display for the world to explore. The joys and not just the oys. 6 distinctive pavilions will focus on different aspects of our story. The Covenant and Land of Israel will present a multimedia experience that introduces the foundations of Jewish thought and values, which a lot of us may have been taught started with the words buy wholesale. It will explore Judaism's major concepts, ideas, and heroes and heroines of the Bible, and will focus on the birth of the State of Israel. The Enterprise Pavilion will offer a retrospective of the business accomplishments of the Jewish people. All the more remarkable when you recall that our professional lives were largely shaped by restrictions of segregation, anti-Semitism, and constantly being kicked out of whatever village we were in. Just a few triumphs will include the creation of the film, television, and comic book industries, the success of today's startup nation, and Jewish business icons, even some of the notorious ones like Bugsy Siegel and Meyer Lansky. I personally cannot wait to explore the Science and Inquiry Pavilion. It will look at the passion Jews have always had for the pursuit of knowledge. Visitors will see how our ideals and values have led to countless contributions to medicine, to science, to technology, including such earth-changing discoveries as the laser, the pacemaker, vaccinations for cholera, the bubonic plague, and polio, and the cell phone. This is information that I want my children to see and learn from. What a magnificent way to reinforce the pride that they feel as Jews, to strengthen all of our Jewish identity. I believe every child, every Israeli student, every birthright visitor should immerse themselves in our shared history. I think of how a resource like this will inspire them to make their own mark on the future of the Jewish people, on Judaism, and the future of humanity. On the topic of inspiration, I'm honored to introduce our next tour guide. His accomplishments and innovations to the world of comedy are worth their own pavilion. The son of a rabbi, he studied theology in Israel, but his destiny was sealed when he viewed one of the great Jewish minds of the 20th century, Lenny Bruce. His unmatched career in comedy includes more than 130 appearances on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, and he famously caused the switchboard at CBS to explode after delivering a satiric sermon on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. He is the award-winning actor, director, writer, producer, and member of the Order of Canada, David Steinberg.
Thank you so much, Mayan, for your kind words, and good evening, everyone. I think we can all agree on one thing: the history of the Jewish people is extraordinary. The Creativity Pavilion will be filled with the joy of Jewish laughter in the theater, film, television, literature, and yes, even sports. Think of Sandy Koufax, Hank Greenberg, Maccabi, Tel Aviv's basketball club, and Olympic gymnast Ali Reisman. And in music, even White Christmas was written by a Jewish man, Irving Berlin. More than anything, Jews value moral justice. The Tzedakah Pavilion will show how Jewish thinkers and philanthropists have provided the building blocks for a more perfect world. And when visitors come through this pavilion, they will be inspired and they'll appreciate the power we all have to change the world for the better. This place is going to focus on the positive and uplifting, and I can't wait to see it. And please welcome our musical guest, the Fat Ooze, and then stick around because Howie Mandel, one of my favorites, will be back.
Many nights we prayed with no proof anyone could hear. In our hearts a hopeful song we barely understood. Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. Oh, there can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will. You will when you believe. I heard there was a secret chord that David wrote to please the Lord. But you don't even care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, a baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but it needed proof. You saw her bathing on your roof. Her beauty in the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to the kitchen chair. She broke your throne and got your hair. From your lips she drew the hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Wonderful. Now, by now, we're all eager to plan our trip to the world's Jewish Museum. All we have to do is build it. And that's where every single one of us is going to step up. As we prepare to land, I remind you to please hit the donate button on your screen or go to worldsjewishmuseum.com/donate. Well, no gift is too small, no gift is too large. There are major naming opportunities for pavilions, exhibits, galleries, and for a minimum of $10,000, you can have your name engraved on our digital wall. Again, we're a nonprofit and appreciate donations of any size. Our silent auction features a collection of art worthy of its own museum by masters like Picasso, Warhol, Chagall, Dali, and Disney. Buy 1 or 2 or 12 items at a 32auction.com/WJM virtual gala. It will remain open till Thursday, October the 15th at 12 noon Los Angeles time. So go there and check out the amazing tchotchkes. That's Yiddish for stuff. People from all around the world will be bidding, so don't let the item you want get away. Every donation helps make this dream a reality. What a win-win, really is. Thanks for flying with us and see you again soon. Boom.
Welcome to Tel Aviv. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and see you on our next flight. Thank you. Bye.
Hello everyone watching from around the world. My name is Isaac Larian, and I couldn't be more proud and humbled to be a supporter of this grand vision for the Jewish community. I am deeply honored to be receiving this Lifetime Achievement Award from the World Jewish Museum at the upcoming 2021 physical event in Beverly Hills. Hope to see all of you there. Thank you. Be safe and have a sweet, happy, healthy New Year.